Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the 7 ways that having a YouTube channel helped me make my first $1,000,000 before I even had 1,000,000 subscribers or anything. And this is about how I was able to generate that first $1,000,000 in revenue. Now, a portion of that, is profit. And then depending on the deals, because I've done affiliate deals, joint venture deals where I like revenue share with different people, also generate for my own businesses. And so, yeah, it's a combination of a bunch of different ways, but I want to share it with you kind of in this raw, real 100-day posting video challenge. My house is a little messy today, but I figured screw it. I committed to a 100-day challenge. So I'm going to film it, even though it's messy, squeeze it in here. I just got done with a sweaty workout from skateboarding, playing soccer, but I figured screw it. Let's get into it. All right. So the 7 ways that having a YouTube channel helped me generate my first $1,000,000 online is very simple in no particular order. I'll give you the 7 up top and then I'll elaborate down the road. Most people would drag it along the way. I'll tell you what they are up front, and if they're interesting, keep listening. If not, you can dip. But I will say that if you like the content, please let me know. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. So the 7 ways are: number 1, having a YouTube channel allowed me to multiply myself. Number 2, it allowed me to network and build relationships with people that I wouldn't have otherwise because I have a valuable asset, right? So that's an important factor at play. And the other thing that is really interesting to me, oh wow, the whole mess is now showing here. Let's try to boom, straighten that out. Tomorrow's cleaning day. That's right. Anyways, let's get into it. So number 2 is networking, like I said, right? The ability to build and cultivate really good relationships, and relationships that I would have never otherwise had the opportunity to, because when you have a platform, you have an asset. People are really interested in that. Even when I was just starting and I had no subscribers, just the fact that I said I had a YouTube channel and was serious about starting or creating something, it started to get people intrigued because that's so far ahead. Remember this, your first YouTube video is 90% ahead of most people who have 0 YouTube videos. So the fact that you're even doing 1 is huge, let alone 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, etc. And it starts to snowball. So that was really huge. And I'll elaborate on all these. Number 3 is revenue streams, right? It allowed me to generate not just opportunities for our production business, not only for our joint venture, rev share, affiliate type stuff, but also for our coaching, consulting, various sponsorships, right? And so there's a lot of different ways that we've been able to monetize both front end and back end, obviously, which is pretty nice, especially when you combine it with the ability to multiply yourself, like I mentioned. Number 4 would be confidence and fulfillment. It built a sense of confidence because even though I'm not in the best shape, or my hair's not always the best, or I wish I did this or that or whatever, having a YouTube channel on my other channel, the Passionate Few podcast and YouTube channel, where I've interviewed all these amazing men and women. I've done hundreds of interviews and documented a bunch of them there with high-level, billion-dollar entrepreneurs alike. I will say that's a very polished and confidence-building type of product, because to produce those types of videos, there's so much attention to detail, from the editing to the topics to actually curating the questions to actually going on set, doing a lot of these interviews remote and in person in their home. It's a lot more polished and quality control, which production-wise I love, which is why we have a production company that we help clients grow their brand and business with. But it also allowed me to build my confidence communicationally, my confidence to walk into rooms with high-level people, my confidence to give value to a lot of these successful people who don't have platforms. And so it creates a leverage piece that I would otherwise not have, even when I didn't have money. So that's why I wanted to mention this is one of them, because the confidence you get from building your brand and the confidence you get, and we see this all the time with a lot of our clients that we work with for YouTube coaching or brand building, whether it's done for you or the consulting stuff, is we basically see the fact that a lot of people have a lot of limiting beliefs, right? Even me, right? Who has this really polished YouTube channel with the Passionate Few. I had all this mental weight on, I can't do it my way or create with something I enjoy or not have restrictions or not be in my head about it. But a lot of times it's because we're insecure. Hey, the background here is messy, as you can see if you're watching this video, or my hair's messed up, or I don't look the best, or the camera angle's weird, or the lighting's off, or whatever. So I get that 100%. But having both is incredibly liberating for me. And it's a reminder for me of what I did before, because even with the podcast, I did that. But long story short, it creates a sense of confidence and fulfillment that you're like, for me, this is fulfilling, even if it gets so little views, relatively speaking, to stuff that I've made with interviews. It's gotten hundreds of thousands or millions of views. Even if this only has 10 or 4 views, I'm so stoked that me being my raw, authentic self could make even one person, maybe you listening to this, feel like, whoa, the words popped out of the screen and into my soul. I feel what you're saying on that. So building your brand is huge for confidence and fulfillment. Um, the other thing I have is social leverage, right? I know it's not politically correct, but the reality is a lot of times I'm more of an introvert, to be honest with you, but it does create a lot of social leverage to where people want to do business with you. People want to work with you. And although that sounds vague, social leverage, social capital, it builds relationship capital and it builds an energy of people wanting to do business with you. And sometimes even just an extra one or two or 10 people that want to do business with you will lead to not just revenue and opportunity and great friendships, but also great referrals and great networks. And so that social leverage component is really huge, and I never even thought about it when I was just trying to build my brand, sharing these inspiring stories on my other platform. And again, if you guys are just watching and you're enjoying it, you make sure to subscribe. It means the world to me if you hit that subscribe button. It takes like 5 seconds. I'm doing a video series here where I'm sharing things from the heart, raw and polished, direct, one take, from the soul I've learned in life and business. So hopefully I make it 100 days, but I'm committed. So we'll see how it goes. Um, Skill sets. That's the next one. Number 6 would be skill sets. The skill sets that you learn creating video, the skill sets of communication, of team management, thumbnails, copywriting for titles to be compelling. Granted, on this channel, I'm not working so hard on the packaging for these first 100 days. But in general, you learn attention to detail when you start creating content, right? Even though I'm doing this, paying attention to so many details on the other channel is what made me want to be able to be free on this channel. But nonetheless, it still builds the skill set. There's so many things, from finding or hiring editors or hiring a video person or knowing how to curate questions or curate topics, or in real time do podcast interviews for me, or ask for the ability to even get interviews. Like, all these are confidence building skills that you don't notice when you think, oh, I'm just making videos, put them on the internet, and they translate to many areas of life and business and discipline. Um, so yeah, there's so many micro skill sets with content creation that are amazing, and then that apply to everything. And last but not least, the last one, and I know I promised I wouldn't elaborate, but I guess these are open-ended videos, so I did anyways. Number 7 is evergreen. This one's about money, because I know a lot of you guys obviously want to build a brand because money is a part of it, but it creates evergreen lead generation and relationship building opportunity. So the difference between social leverage that I mentioned earlier being a benefit and this would be more so that having evergreen content in perpetuity that multiplies and scales through time gives you digital leverage. And digital leverage is the new social. With social media, think of it as social media leverage or digital leverage, right? But the ability evergreen to film a video today, put it up, like someone could watch this video a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, and maybe this leads to one person being impacted for free. Maybe this leads to different coaching or consulting clients that come to us by applying the description below, shameless plug, or done for you production services. Maybe it leads to one-on-one consulting call that changes something. Maybe it leads to you getting inspired to do a free video challenge like this that doesn't cost you a penny. Maybe it leads to a whole slew of different actions. But my point is that if you can start to take imperfect actions like this, even if you're just starting from zero, you'll start to see how these benefits far outweigh the fact that you're not getting views or that you're not getting momentum yet. Just realize that in the great expression in martial arts, it says that a black belt, right, a master level martial artist, a black belt is just a white belt that never gave up. And so if you can adopt that mentality, a lot of times it's disproportionate the returns, right? Like, you might not see that much success year 1 building your brand, or year 2, or year 3, but maybe year 6, you get more than 20x the momentum return, right? Once you hit that tipping point of momentum. And so if you're enjoying the content you're creating, if you're in a good rhythm and it's building your energy, even me, when I'm creating these videos, it's like, why would I make these for free? For me, it's because my soul for so long actually has been pulling at me to, like, Omar, just create authentic stuff. I'm tired of it being polished and worrying about the algorithm, right? I got into content creation to share things that are meaningful for me, that I love, for people that I can help, consult, impact, learn from, exchange ideas with, interview, right? It just came from this ferocious fire curiosity. And I did it to be an artist of communication, if you will, and intellect, not so much to maximize ROI and revenue, right? Or not so much to build this colossal brand, like, or not so much to, right? I didn't have these crazy lofty ambitions. And I'm still humble enough to admit I'm still in the journey. I'm still figuring it out. But I've been able to live my dreams, things that I thought was unreal. I couldn't believe I could meet Tony Robbins or any of these amazing men and women by putting one foot in front of the other, even with $0 in the bank, negative bank balance. I was able to do all these things, right? And to reiterate, the 7 things, and I know I said I wouldn't elaborate, and here we go. Is again number one. I'll say them again. So if you didn't pay attention, it's okay. Number one, the ability to multiply yourself. When you can multiply yourself at content, even if you're getting low views now, think ahead. Think in the days, weeks, months, years in advance, what that will create, what a body of work will create, right? This video that I watch, God willing, will be around a day from now, a week from now, a year from now, a month from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and someone can benefit from it. I will benefit from just looking back at how I've grown as a person creating these videos, right? So the ability to multiply yourself, get more people to see you and hear you for free. Back in the day, you had to pay for commercials or television time or be famous, but nowadays you can broadcast yourself. You have that power. Take advantage of it if you want to go that route. If you don't, that's one thing. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to try things, right? Nothing replaces time under the bar. Nothing replaces volume. And so for me, I got tired of making, one video a week or a couple videos a month around interviews. I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I want to interview amazing people for the rest of my life. In some regard, I do anyways, right? If I wouldn't do it for free, probably wouldn't do it for a fee. And I've loved doing these for so long, even in life. So when it came to content, it was easy. But yeah, the ability to multiply yourself by like one set of action. Talk about high leverage action. One action to record one video for 10 minutes or an hour can play you for tens of hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours. Think about that. You might not see the magnitude of that now, but the compounded effect of that in perpetuity, imagine how that could generate you leads, generate you opportunity, build your relationships, build your confidence, build your brand. I mean, there's the opportunities of multiplying yourself are limitless, even if you're not going to go viral month one. So don't underestimate the long term, right? I think Gary V. Vaynerchuk, he did 1,000 videos on wine before he blew up, and he started in his mid to late 30s. So think about that. Number one, the ability to multiply yourself in your business. Number two, networking. Like I said, the ability to connect with amazing people, build relationships, have an excuse. Hey, come on my show. Hey, the podcast. And you could do it at a high level. You could do it at a beginner level, but it's just an opportunity to do it. And if you lower the barriers of judgment in your mind for the first 10 videos, or even for me, I'm doing a 100 video challenge, but maybe for you it's 30 days and it's a little uncomfortable, but you make it more comfortable by your hair being messed up like me or your background being messed up, coming from the soul. You'll build a momentum and confidence, and you'll attract one person and then two and then 12. And hopefully if you're watching this, you're one of those 2 and 12. I think we're at 50 subscribers now to the channel or somewhere around there. So if you haven't, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. It takes like 5 seconds. It means the world to me as I do this little social experiment. Again, the next one is monetization. So sponsorships, coaching, consulting our businesses. Also, it allowed us to attract employees and team members to help. That's a huge point of creating content. And that led to business opportunities. Obviously, that would be multiple 6 figures and cumulatively into the 7 figures. But it allowed me to attract great team members that were bought into what we were doing, right? Employees, independent contractors, etc. Very different when you hire an applicant than when you hire a fan or somebody bought into the mission of what you're building, even if it's small. Again, confidence and fulfillment, elaborated on that one. It's pretty awesome. Levels you up mentally. You feel good about what you're creating and impacting people with. Social leverage. I know this sounds evil or crazy, but the reality is that it helps you in day-to-day life and create opportunities that it might not otherwise in life or business. So the social leverage of saying you have a platform can do so much. So don't underestimate that. Again, number 6 is skill sets. And I know I talked about that, but there's so many nuances you'll learn about yourself. I think Ed Milet has a great expression where he says, business is the ultimate spiritual sport. And it's true because you learn so many skill sets in creating content because you're responsible to hold a vision, hold an idea with as much confidence and honesty as possible, translate that to help people in their life or their business, or just express yourself. And to do that digitally, there's titles and thumbnails and hiring and firing and testing and all those little things. You become an entrepreneur by the nature of being a content creator. So those are very, very powerful skill sets that obviously lead to negotiations in business that open doors. And again, the last thing, and this is probably the most compelling thing, is the fact that when you create evergreen content, you have digital leverage. And digital leverage is where I've made a chunk of my money, because even though I got the benefits of multiplying myself, networking with amazing people, um, scalable monetization opportunities coming to me, sometimes even by placing a link in the description or whatever, and that creates affiliate revenue where I get a portion of it. When you have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people, even if you get a few dozen clicks on stuff or a few hundred clicks on stuff, that starts to add up into revenue. Um, again, uh, that ability is what was huge. And if you want the breakdown of like, okay, Omar, this sounds great, but I want to know specifically how you made it. Well, I would say I probably made my first, um, God, probably I would say 2 to 300,000 from the production business, and then obviously that continued, but that was the first wave. And then I did it through affiliate marketing, probably another 2 or 300,000, and then coaching and consulting. And so little by little, every year from about 2017, 2018, 2019, I would grow something and then layer something else on top of it, grow something, layer something else on top of it. And so I don't have an exact breakdown because it happened so scattered, but that's a general idea. And for those that don't know, my very first video production venture, I started it because this was my first foray into business ever. Taking imperfect action, mind you, um, was essentially um, selling a video ad to a client for $4,500, having another videographer and editor, because I know nothing about videography and editing, make it for $2,500. I basically found a client, proposed something for $4,500, found a friend who said he could do it for $2,500, paid the friend $2,500, and I just kind of gave input, directed it a little bit, and then I made that $2,000 profit. And so that was the first time I was like, okay, leveraging talent for outcome to people who have a need, right? In this case, it was brand building with clients. And then we got better and better at quality control, and then we had bigger opportunities, and then sourced talent and realized, the reason people pay us is for access to the knowledge of what works and what doesn't, to the talent that has the ability to create great stuff that doesn't. And so little by little, that built my confidence. But then, it's like, well, hey, if we could sell a $2,500 deal, we could probably sell a $20,000 deal, or $25,000 deal, or $50,000 deal, or $100,000 deal. Now, every client's different. And obviously, because of the nature of the business we're in, we got to work with really big clients, 7, 8, 9 figure entrepreneurs. But we also help people in the six to multiple six figures with the done for you stuff. If you're less than that in the consulting capacity, but you know, that is something that if you're interested in, like I said, shameless plug, you guys can apply in the description below. But also, it trains your brain to start building a confidence with yourself, with your identity, learning about yourself. And you can start doing that and stretching things. And then you learn, like, okay, because of having content, I met great people that egged me on and said, hey, well, if you can sell something for 2,500, can't you sell it for 25K? And so on and so forth. So that's a long story short of how I was able to generate my first $1 million and beyond. I hope these 7 tips help you. And yeah, they came from the heart. My buddy just showed up, but we're about to wrap this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to comment below if you guys have any questions, like, subscribe. And I hope these 7 ways, I know it's a little bit all over the place, but I hope they inspire you to grow your life and business and make your next 10,000, 100,000, $1 million and beyond. All right. God bless. And again, if you guys want to work with us, you can apply in the description below. Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next free video. You can follow me on all my free social medias down below as well. All right. See you guys in the next video. God bless. Love you.